Hi, everybody, and welcome, welcome, welcome. I am here today to talk about just hurtful feelings. I just got through watching a video on the mother who went viral and who was arrested for dragging her daughter by the hair. I think her name is Samaria White, and she's the mother of 3 children, and she was dragging her daughter, chased her daughter down, and was beating her daughter, and the neighbors took video of it and posted it to TikTok, and it went viral. And she was arrested, and the children were taken away. And it just made me sad when I seen the video of the mother beating the daughter. And it triggered me because I am a survivor of being abused by a mother and a father and aunts and uncles and grandmothers and just all the adults that I knew in my life. And even when I became homeless in the building, there were so many people who seen my situation, knew my situation, and seen me hurting and seen me vulnerable and seen me weak. And yet, they still try to take advantage of me and hurt me and use me and abuse me. And sometimes I think we all have those days when we are overwhelmed with the memories of the hurt and the pain, when we are overwhelmed with the things that we have overcame. And it hurts us to think that the people that we loved so much, the people that we went above and beyond for, the people that we went out of our way for, they hurt us. They walked over us. They abused us. And when I seen that mother doing what she did to her daughter, it just reminded me that I was abused. I was battered. I was drugged. I was beaten. I was belittled. I was talked about. I was used as a doormat by the woman who brought me into the world. I was used to take care of every child that she brought into the world. I was used to give her children the love that she couldn't give us. And it's sad that Your sole existence is to benefit others. It's sad that you are never recognized. You never matter. You're never loved. You're never nourished. It's sad that when people beat you down, they also beat you more to say, be quiet, shut up, you don't matter. No one will hear you. I was taught to take the beatings and to be quiet and to silence myself. I was taught you don't matter. No one hears you, no matter how loud you scream for help. No one will hear you. And I think in our society, that is what the victim is taught. I can hurt you. I can beat you. I can belittle you. I could dog you out. I could drag you. And you're not important. And no one will hear you. No one cares enough about you to hear you. No matter what abuse I was subjected to as a child, being beaten with a extension cord, being beaten with what they call a razor belt, being tied to a doorknob and left in an empty house all day long until nighttime. To be abused into submission, to be silenced, from being sexually assaulted and being silent. The years of abuse and being taught to shut up, to sit down, to be quiet, that you don't matter, that no one sees you. Even when something horrific as being sexually assaulted happened to me, I was already taught, you better not say nothing. No one is going to believe you. You don't matter. No one sees you. It's people like this, it's mothers like this who should have never, ever, ever had children. It's mothers like this that don't deserve to have children. And it's children like us that suffered and endured the abuse. Never got help. Never was acknowledged. Healing was left up to us. The pain and the trauma that was caused us as a child paid it forward into adulthood. And now we're left with the hurt. We're left with the pain. We're left with the scars. We're left with the memories. And we're left with the fact that the people that did these things to us, they didn't care then, and they don't care now. I had to accept that I was not loved. I had to accept that I was not treasured. I had to accept that I was not precious in the eyes of my mother, my father, my aunts, my uncles, my grandmothers. I had to accept that. It took years and years and years of subjecting myself to abuse, even after I was an adult. It took years for me to realize that it's not you, Vanessa, it's them. You did nothing wrong, girl. You was a child. You was a baby. You tried to do everything you could. You became the person that you are today, even as a little girl, trying to please everybody else. You worked with your hands. You washed dishes. You kept the house clean. You took care of your sisters and brothers, thinking that one day you'd be appreciated, thinking one day that you'd be praised, thinking one day that you'd get a hug, thinking one day that you'd be told that you are loved. And those days turn to nights. Those days turn to weeks. Those days turn to months. And those days turn to years. Only to be continually abused. Only to be continually beaten. Only to be continually neglected. Only to grow up as a young lady not realizing my worth, not realizing my beauty, not realizing my talents, my gifts, my calling, not realizing that I was important and loved by anyone. I got used to being a doormat. I assumed my position. I was so used to being kicked down and abused until I just stayed down. I didn't get back up. I didn't consider myself of any importance to anyone. The way that others treated me became how I seen and viewed myself. I didn't see myself as someone who was beautiful, as someone who was important, as someone who was smart, as someone who was loved. I just see myself as someone that was intended to make everybody happy, to go out the way for everybody else, to take care of everybody else, to work my fingers to the bones for everybody else. Until one day, it just all took a toll on me, to where I didn't see value in me, and I didn't see value in even wanting to be here any longer. So I walked away from everything. I walked away from my home that was paid for. I walked away from the security of working hard for something and being debt-free. I walked away from the pain of life, wanting not to be in pain anymore. I gave up on myself because life had never been for me. It was always for someone else. It was always for the adults that taught me I wasn't important, that taught me I didn't have a voice, that taught me my tears didn't matter, that taught me my moans and groans would go unnoticed, unheard, and uncared for. Even though they cause the hurt and pain, I was also taught by those who cause the hurt and pain to shut up, to be quiet, to be silent, to take it. This is your faith. Your faith is to be a punching bag. Your faith is to be my doormat. Your faith is to cry and hold back the tears. Your faith is to keep my house clean, take care of my children, change their diapers, comb their hair, fix their bottle, keep them from crying, teach them, love them, hug them, kiss them, be the mother to them that I choose not to be. That was my faith. And I was conditioned to accept that faith. I was conditioned that this was my reality. I was conditioned to know nothing else but what I was being subjected to as a child. But somewhere, some way, somehow, even in me trying to give up on myself, is somebody seen me. Somebody seen me. Somebody seen every tear. Somebody seen every injustice. Somebody seen every beating. Somebody seen the things that happened to me that should have never, ever, ever happened to a child. Somebody knew the truth. And somebody loved me enough not to let me give up on myself. Somebody loved me enough to let me cry my tears. Somebody loved me enough to embrace me and encourage me and tell me that I am somebody and that I do matter and that I am beautiful and that I am loved. I never got that from any adult in my life. I never got that from any lover in my life. I never got it from any relative in my life. It took me getting to the bottom of the barrel. It took me becoming homeless. It took me to lose all hope. It took me to get to the darkest days of my life, to be nourished, loved, encouraged, motivated back to health. It took every piece in my life to be broken in order to be put back together again. It took me not knowing who I was, accepting everything that others said about me, did to me. It took me believing the lies of Satan and accepting the faith that I had been taught for so many years. It took me believing it and not caring anymore for me to realize that I was blessed by the best and I was loved by the best father in the whole wide world. It took losing myself to find myself in the loving arms of a father that wouldn't let me go. No matter how low you go, God is never going to let you go. I hope this encouraging, motivational message helped you today. Let me know and leave comments in the comment bar below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you want to support the channel in any shape, form, or fashion, all my information is in the description box below. My Cash App, my PayPal, my Amazon wish list, and my mailing address. Look below the video and click more twice or the down arrow and you will see all of my information. Thanks for watching. Bye now.